All right. Welcome to the Rocket Launcher podcast. This is episode 167. I am your host, Supreme King. Join with me, as always, is my co host, and his name is.
It's your guy who amazes.
Man, all I gotta say is I'm excited about the weather starting to change. I did see that at least over here. I don't know where everybody else is. I know for some people, if you're in Texas, shout out to Texas, you're already in the 70-degree weather. But up here, we're gonna peak 50 degrees on one day, only one day. But that one day is enough to finish off the snow, I'm sure. But I'm already seeing it, break down into like patches everywhere where we could see the green grasses again, and it's like, it's giving me hope, man. It's giving me hope. But listen, I am excited about today's episode because there's a lot of cool stuff. A couple shows, a show that we missed from last week because of the Super Bowl and other things, and the other show for this week, between two of the platforms, PlayStation and Nintendo. And then there's a lot of exciting games to talk about in between those shows. But how are you doing today? How's everything?
I'm chilling. Yeah, can't complain. Enjoying that everything is warming back up.
Yeah, I got a lot of big plans for the warm weather. I do want to start off with getting some of the old news out of the way and addressing the game on the screen. So initially I had wanted to talk about Mario Tennis Fever reviews coming from the internet, but I forgot that this was one of the games that I had pre-ordered with all of my gift cards way back last year, and it kind of just showed up and I was like, oh. So this is Mario Tennis Fever. Very fun game. I gotta admit, it was very fun to play this. This is a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive. I think it was $70. It might have been, yeah, 70. I think it's 70. A little arcadey, you know what to expect when you see this type of game. So I didn't really look at the reviews like that. I've seen some, hardcore people like, oh, it's not the best Mario Tennis, and then some of the professional outlets are like giving this around a 7 or an 8 out of 10. For me, just based off of my impressions, so this footage is my first time playing. I think as soon as you turn it on, they throw you into this tutorial right after that little video package, just to give you the controls. But the controls are very easy to pick up on. I will say it is probably based on the impressions of just playing it. For me, I want to say it was like an 8 out of 10. I can't really say it was terrible at all. I've seen some people say it that they didn't like it as much, but I really enjoyed what I played. I will say, yes, because it's Mario, there were certain details that kind of like stood out to me. Like, for example, the two outer white lines on the tennis court. I'm not that big of a tennis player fan, and I don't know all the rules, but I'm almost certain those are out of bound areas, where in this game you don't get deducted points or anything for that. You're just kind of playing, having fun. And obviously they have like a whole bunch of like the super attacks and stuff that you have only with Mario, because this is a a arcadey fun type game. It's not real tennis, right? So there's a lot of power-ups going on the board, where you can do electricity attacks, fire attacks, ice attacks. There's a couple other ones that I can't really think of. But I just played the basic stuff because I was just playing the game. And I didn't really have any complaints. Now, I did watch only one review while I was waiting for the footage to kind of render. And some people were saying they were kind of getting tired of the repetitiveness of the commentary, because they have some of the characters, really it's the fire plant, where you can see on the corner, on the left hand side. I don't think that's a fire plant. It's some sort of plant though. And he talks the entire time. But they try to make it simulate like some sort of ESPN kind of thing. Like, you know how when they're talking, during the matches or whatever. I guess they only have so many dialogue phrases that if you was playing this like your main game or something, it'll get old really fast.
Oh,
Based on my, I was just playing this for the first time, so everything's new to me. It didn't get in the way of my gameplay. They did say you could turn it off in the settings, but honestly, this is the type of game that you just kind of play and have fun with. I don't expect to play it over and over again and be putting 50, 60 hours into it because it's a tennis game, it's a sports game, right? The campaign apparently is like 3-4 hours long. So I'll probably play through that at some point to make sure I'm, beating a certain amount of games this year. But, or at least catch up because we were like halfway through this month and I still haven't like beat a game this year yet. Right. Even though I'm towards the end of my other ones, but still, but you can see I got electrocuted here. This is the first time I lost a round. And it was because I got electrocuted. And I was like, yo, are they cheating? Like, you get electrocuted, you can't move because she used some sort of electrical attack.
You're not going to move if you get electrocuted.
I was just like, what
that
the
makes
heck?
sense.
Because I wasn't expecting it at first because I haven't really been following this game like that. But yeah, because you could have some special moves that you can do while playing tennis. And so she did that. I think Mario's moves were like fire moves. But yeah, off of my first impressions, this is fun. I would definitely say pick it up. It makes me want to play the GameCube one because I have access to it, and it makes me want to play Super Mario Aces or Mario Tennis Aces, which I think was the other one from the first Switch. I kind of want to go and get it at some point after I'm like exhausted with this one. I know those games are probably like a downgrade to this in a way, but it was fun. It was really fun. I didn't have that type of feeling with like Kirby Air Riders or some of the other ones. It was just like kind of just playing them, but this one stood out to me. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I definitely recommend it to anybody. Fun little title. But did you see any reviews or did you have any commentary on this type of game or off this footage? Does this look like something you would want to play? Like your thoughts?
I mean, I've had a Switch too, yeah, but it looks fun. Like, it looks like it's something I would play, like, every once in a while. Again, like you said, not something I'd put, like, thousands of hours in, but, like, something I'd play on and off.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was dope. And we can move on to getting the other show kind of out of the way. It was the Nintendo Partner Showcase that happened within the week before the Super Bowl Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. And it wasn't really, if at all, anything that was shown from not Mario, but Nintendo's first party because it was supposed to be, the partner showcase. But they had a couple little things here and there. To me, it kind of just seemed like the port showcase where it was just like, here's a whole bunch of stuff, especially like once they start getting deep into that show, like a whole bunch of things that was like already out on other platforms within the last year. It's a standard Nintendo, but they had a couple things here. Did you see this show in its entirety?
I did. Yep.
How you feel about it in general?
For the most part, it was boring, if I'm gonna be honest. There was like 2 games that I was interested in. Really, there was one game I was really interested in. One that was like, okay, it seems sort of interesting, and then just another one that caught my attention, but I still don't think I'd get it. But other than that, like the rest of it was kind of boring. It was just like, oh, hey, this is now on the Switch. This is now on the Switch. This is not like that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I do want to address that in a second, but what was the game that you saw that you liked? What was that?
Orbitals. It was one of the first one shown because the design of it was very 90s anime, right? Like it looked like Cowboy Bebop. So it instantly caught my attention. It was that very old school like anime style that you just don't get anymore. It was very stylish, stylistic, and it was like a co-op like puzzle game. So the gameplay felt more like a Hazelight Studio game with, of course, like I said, the graphics of old school anime. I was a little bummed that it was like exclusively on the Switch too. So I was like, dang. But it still looked good, and I know what I liked is that they were doing the friend pass thing on it as well. So only like one person needed to actually own it since it's a co-op. I like that they're doing that. Like if the people are making games that are strictly co-op, they're not making people buy 2 copies. Because I feel like 5 years ago, even less, that would not be a thing. Like I feel like it was like Hazelight that did it, and now all of a sudden the rest are doing it. So it's a good trend. But that one looked good.
I think that was the first game that I wrote down. It was more of a co-op based title. I did also pay attention to them showcasing the co-op thing. It looked like that was like one of the first times they was really pushing the game share thing in a different way. Because beforehand they were just like you could let somebody play your game for 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
However that was, but which I actually I still appreciate. That's still interesting in itself. And there are games where you can, beat in 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
it did look like a It Takes Two inspired type of game. I would look forward to playing it at some point. It being exclusive to Nintendo is not too big of a deal to me, as long as their online gets better. It looks like they're trying to get it better. I haven't really been a subscriber to Nintendo's online like that, and I know they're attempting to build certain games around it. I don't have Super Mario, what is it called? The Mario Party Jamboree. There's a few different Mario Party games, but Mario Party Jamboree was like the one game where they were like advertising the game share and well, not game share, but the online a lot for when they were really pushing the Switch 2. And I imagine that going forward they would do that with a few different titles this generation for them, which would be a good thing if it is actually quality, because it add real value to their online. Because I'm still not really sold on just playing a bunch of ports, right? And that's what it seemed like it was last generation. It's just keep playing all these ports. We'll go as far back as the Sega Genesis till now, and we'll just port everything. Well, now we can have new games where you can build around that online feature. And Orbitals is one of them. I did pay attention to the soccer game from the anime Captain Tsubasa. Captain Tsubasa 2 World Fighters. I do have the first one and never played it. And I actually I will finish, or will play that and finish it, especially now playing this tennis. It's like getting me into wanting to play a lot of these other sports games, not just racing. But I will play that into its entirety before jumping into the second one. The first game is multiplat, so I'd imagine this one is going to be multiplat as well. But I did pay attention to that just because I was looking for soccer. I think I bought that around the same time I was doing the football game, the medieval football game. I can't think of his name right now, but like I'm interested in buying sports games that's not related to like the real life sports, because I just want one game that lasts. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be I gotta replace it the very next year. And
are you talking about Mutant Football League?
Yeah, Mutant Football League is the other one. I just want them to last. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though Mutant Football League has got their sequel out now, I think. I didn't follow up on that. I'm gonna make a note.
From my understanding, wasn't it not good? If I remember correctly, people complained about it. If I remember correctly,
I don't know. I'm gonna look into it for next week, because I actually did not look into it at all. But I do remember it was something that was supposed to be released this month because it was on the list. But yeah, so that's that. I also wrote down Tokyo Scramble.
that was the one that I listed as like, it wasn't something I was necessarily gonna get, but I wanted to highlight because I felt like they were just like, hey, Code Violet, this is how you do it.
Yeah, it was interesting because they had another dinosaur-ish game, and I actually I like that though. I like dinosaur games. I would like to try these because I thought Second Instinct was just stolen from us. It was just taken right away. But this one apparently is an exclusive as well, like a dino
Mm.
horror-ish game for Nintendo. Um, these I don't think these are first party exclusives, they're more second party, but at least we're starting to see Nintendo do things that don't look like it's only preschool games. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing that's standing out for me, that I have been asking for a while. So I do want to support some of these titles because not everything had to be, some sort of PBS preschool looking title.
On that
um
note, though, I'm gonna need them to get a second, like announcer for when they do horror games because he like when he talked about Resident Evil Requiem, he
mhm.
made it sound like the most childish, safe. Like his voice when he was
Yeah.
talking, I was like, you can play as action like hero Leon Kennedy, or you have to stealth around as, and it was just like, bruh, like
Hmm.
there's no fear like in your voice. Like it's like the same tone of advertising a fun party game as advertising a horror game. Like it was just like
Resident Evil Requiem was a dominant feature on actually both shows. And I didn't write it down for both because I think at this point we kind of exhausted the topic. It's just might as well just have the game come out because it's going to be the biggest game of this month. But I don't
uh
necessarily need to talk about it again and again. But yeah, it showed up on this show and it shows up on the PlayStation show. Um, but I didn't really write it down. I did write down the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales.
okay.
Um, I actually, if I didn't have Mario Fever, I would have played the demo for that, or at least showed the footage for the demo for that, because I actually played the demo, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. That demo came out a while. I played it out. I played it for like it's 30 minutes, and then just kind of kept the footage on the side. And I might debut it because I do want to play the game, but I'm not really in a hurry to play it. But the demo itself was fun. It was kind of like a like if you was playing the old school, it looks like an old school Pokemon game, the graphics and everything, but then like it has faster gameplay. It's not turn based. Um, and I'll probably show it off soon. But yeah, I wrote that down because I actually thought it was good. And then the last thing I actually wrote down for it was Torok Origins, which I'm actually very interested in. Another dino shooter ish game. They had some third person in it as well, where I think the originals didn't. At least the game that I played back in the day. But it does have co-op, man. I want to add it to the co-op list. This is I'm big on dinosaurs, but your thoughts on that? Did you see that? That was thrown in there somewhere.
Yeah. I'll need to see more like before I jump on something like that, but uh it looked okay. The only other game that I had on my list was called Kyoto Xanadu. It's your
Yeah.
classic like side scroller action hack and slash game, like anime looking. The announcer thing it like threw me off too, where it just started. It was just like in an alternate world where Kyoto is the capital of Japan, and I'm like, I don't understand why that makes a difference. Like it's a city, it's a city. Like I don't understand why this makes a whole difference, but the gameplay itself looked pretty cool.
I actually wrote that down too. I just wrote it on the side. I didn't know that was with this. That's a
Yeah.
2D and 3D slasher. Like they flip back and
Uh-huh.
forth to both perspectives depending on where you're at in the game. I do remember I did highlight that on the side because now I remember it's not up for putting it on the wish list yet. Like everything
Yeah.
else, you can put it on the wish list. Apparently, that one is not listed there, so you have to really put a sticky note or something up to make sure you remember to add it to your wish list. But everything else I was able to add to my wish list. I believe also majority of this because it was a partner showcase. you could put on your wish list on platforms like Steam.
Hmm.
Because I actually was doing that. I did not put nothing on the Nintendo wish list. I was like, if I'm gonna play this, it's gonna be on Steam before it's Nintendo. But that was the show. Did you have anything else that was from the show that you want to say or
Nope.
talk about? I
Mm-mm.
just wanted to mention one thing that stood out to me because this was a port type show.
Hmm.
And I always trash on them for the ports. Before I was trashing them because it was like taking over the shows. But this time, the part that stood out to me was there was a lot of ports that they showed that was like, okay, it's on the Switch too, but it actually was looking worse. I don't know if you was paying attention to that. It didn't look like it was as good as the other platforms. Now, yeah, I know
It
Series
never
X and
is.
yeah, it never is when we talk about the Switch One, but wasn't the whole point of the Switch Two was the catch up? I don't know. That's
They
just
said to
how.
catch up, but remember, we already said looking at the specs, it still wasn't going to catch up. Like at the
Yeah,
point of that one, we always said that it needed to be as powerful as a handheld. Like we never said it needed to be as powerful as a main console. I like they all looked worse always.
yeah. I guess so. That was that's what stood out to me the most, I guess. But I didn't have too much of a problem with the show. I just grabbed what I wanted and wrote it down. But we can move forward. New game on the screen, brand new game, Shadow Drop. This on
Yeah,
the screen is God of War Sons of Sparta. And sons is plural because yes, you have a young Kratos, probably a preteen Kratos or a teenager Kratos. And he's with his brother Diemos. And I remember they
Demos.
took it Demos. Yeah, I said it wrong. He's from the first game, or at least his backstories was in the first game, and then they kind of just
and
forgot all
the
about him.
and the PSP game. So this is a spin-off of the PSP game Ghost of Sparta.
Yeah. So they took a story. He's basically telling a story to his daughter, and then they're kind of just you're playing it out or whatever. They took the game and put it in a Metrovania style, or took the franchise, put it in a Metrovania style format. This is what it is: complete Shadow Drop. They did release a patch, I believe, this morning when I was trying to grab the footage that I had saved on the PlayStation. But I played this the same night that came out. When I saw it, I was like, okay, this is cool. I believe it's a $30 title. Wasn't too expensive. I was like, you know what? I'll play it. I'll have the footage from when we talk about the show. Um, but if I was to give a quick impressions on this, it's a dope title. I do think everybody should play it. It is something that's more like a more metro what is it called, Metrovania style title. So if you're into those type of games, this is definitely a game for you. But if you're not into that and you only like the 3D God of War games, this might not be for you. Because early on Kratos, he didn't have his blades of chaos, so you don't expect to see that. Don't expect to be doing any of
Well,
the normal
if you
moves like
remember
that.
in Ragnarok when he got the light spear,
Hmm.
the first thing he pretty much said was brings us back to his childhood Greek days. So then the main weapon here is the light spear, but like not light, so just a spear.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah, yeah.
so
But I'm
yeah, I
saying the
think it fits
gameplay
magic. Oh
changes.
yeah, don't expect the the blades of chaos for sure. That'd be weird.
The gameplay changes too, because if you're more of a modern God of War player, um you're more expecting to play more on the defense, where the older God of War he played on the offense, and this is one of the games where he's more offense than he is playing defense, which is good because defense is more known for being like more of a Souls like game, and God of War was kind of losing his identity a little bit when it comes to the gameplay, to being more of a Souls like title. But doing this is more of a return to just more action and hack and slash type action. But you start off with the spear, and I know you get more weapons later. But this is just me playing the first 30+ minutes of the game. Um, definitely a dope game. I believe there is a game called The Mage Seeker. I gotta look that up. But if you really want a Metroidvania God of War type game, I believe it's called The Mage Seeker, a World of Warcraft story. I think that's what it's called. It's it's also a $30 title that I did not get it yet, but that's one where he literally do have like blades of chaos looking things, and it's more of a top down, and it's fast paced, and you're playing just like the old God of War. And I think you could play that on Epic Game Store too, or buy it on Epic Game Store, if you really want to. But that's the Mage Seeker, World of Warcraft story. I'm not really no, did I say World of Warcraft? I'm sorry. I'm just now looking it up. The Mage Seeker, a League of Legends story. Let me let me clarify. League of Legends story. But if you look up that gameplay, that came out back in like 2023. But the gameplay is definitely God of War, the way you know God of War. But in this type of Metrovania style, if you just really want to play it like that. I am gonna probably have this game in my rotation once I'm finished with like Wolverine officially. But yeah, fun title. I don't know how long it is, but I'm pretty sure it's probably short. $30 title.
I heard it was longer than expected.
Okay, well that's good enough. But yeah, we'll officially talk about the surprises and stuff around this God of War franchise once we get to it. But quick impressions is this was fun. Definitely play the game. Breath of fresh air between this and the Mario game when I was just getting those two. But definitely play it. Definitely pick this up on PlayStation 5. All right, the PlayStation State of Play. Little bit longer than I would have expected, but still a relatively good show. There are some things on there, like I'm still big on like I don't need to see a lot of ports, but I'm not gonna really trash it too much for the ports because they still had a little bit more good titles at the same time. But overall, what are your thoughts on the PlayStation State of Play?
Personally, this was their best state of play, in my opinion.
Best in a while, or what you mean by best?
Well, as far as I can remember. Which I'm sure there's old ones that were really good that I just put out of memory. So I guess within recent, at least for the last few, this was the one that I think I enjoyed the most personally.
Okay. I liked most of it. I think I was saying it was more of like a 7 out of 10 if I was to give it a rating. There were some things where I was just, it's really a port thing. Get on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they had some good stuff. I thought it was a good strong start with Kenna's, not Kenna Bridge of Spears, but Kenna's Scars of Cosmora. Okay. Yeah. That was the Kenna Bridge of Spirits, the sequel. It was with, I don't know the name of their company, but they said that they got funding from PlayStation to like expand their idea for Kenna. And so it's more of a bigger open world this time. And it's still the same type of gameplay, but they're expanding on it. So it's somewhat Souls like. I heard there's a little bit of difficulty there here and there. Fun little title. If you want to play cute little girl fighting Souls game, have at it. I am going to play it at some point. I do have the first title. What are your thoughts on this opening title?
I didn't think it was going to get a sequel, so I thought it was great. I played some of the first one, and I want to go back into it when I can like really dedicate time to it. But yeah, this was, I think, a very pleasant surprise. I thought it was a very strong opening.
Yeah, dope game. I will be picking it up. And then they had some titles in here that was like we've seen multiple times already. I know somewhere in the middle of this, it was more looking at Resident Evil. I don't want to talk too much on that, but I did write down Control Resonant, another game that we've seen already, but they showed a little bit more gameplay here versus what we initially saw from the Game Awards. It's still, very flashy hack and slash type title. It looks like you can kind of morph the world around, almost like a puzzle grid or something, moving it around and then, fighting the enemies in the area. You have to probably play the first Control to know some backstory at least, and maybe some Alan Wake's. But this is supposed to be the girl from Control's brother, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And the gameplay is completely different from her like Matrix shooter style gameplay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, did you write anything down before we got to this?
No, yeah, because I was pretty far in.
Okay.
So all right, so these weren't like on my high list of like good, but a couple things to note was that it's cool that Ghost of Yotei is also getting a Legends game. Like I'm always just a fan of Sucker Punch, so I support what they're doing. What else? I finally got to see what Pragmata is all about, and I'm still not excited for it. But I'm like finally got to see what it was, because like all we kept seeing it was just Spaceman and a little girl. And it was just like, okay, like you showed that, then you just kept saying it'll come out eventually. But now we know is Spaceman and a robot girl running from robots. So it's not better, but at least we know what it is. Also that game For Loop, they showed off a boss, and the moment they showed it, I immediately went, that's from Remnant. Because it was the cube boss in the air.
Yeah, they had the Rubik's Cube in it.
Yeah, and I was like on Reddit about it, and everyone was saying they saw it. It was like, yo, this is Remnant. Like everybody was like, this is the Remnant Cube boss. Point that out. Interesting that Dead or Alive is still going. So that was crazy. Legacy of Kain is getting a remaster, so hopefully more comes from it. Mm-hmm. What else was it? It was Up to Control. So that was it, Up to Control. I'm excited for Control. So I was already excited. I still have to play the first game. It's in my list of things to get to. I was excited to play the first one. I was like, cool, they're making a second one. And then after seeing this gameplay, it made me way more excited to play the first one so I can get ready for the second one. So like the gameplay thing like sold it for me. This is like a guaranteed I'm going to get it. I don't know if it's going to be a release, but I'm going to get it. It's perfectly my style of game. Brings me back to like the old Infamous style stuff, but like with the world like turning and everything. I thought the puzzle stuff there seemed kind of cool. It looks like multiple ways to tackle certain situations.
Yeah, the Control series, or just the Remedy series. From my understanding, it goes from Alan Wake to Alan Wake's American Nightmare to what is it called? Quantum Break, yeah, that one. Quantum Break, and then we jump from that to Control, and from that to Alan Wake 2, and then this particular game. And then there's some
That's
DLCs.
nice. I want to play Control.
So I am playing. I kind of already went through most of it. But yeah, I'm like halfway through, and I want to play the full thing to get the full understanding. Because even though when you get to Alan Wake 2, they race swapped the black girl. She was a white girl in Quantum Break, but you know how our industry is at this point. But yeah, that's the timeline. I do want to play all of it, leading up to this and everything. But yeah, so a lot of those games you mentioned before, that was the stuff that was kind of just like I've already seen it a few times, especially Legacy of Kain. I was just like, bro, that could be on another show. But I didn't write any of that down, but that was all there. The next thing I did write down, I think it was called Crimson Moon, which it looked like a Doom game if you took the guns away and it was just like only melee only, kind of medieval horrorish fighter. Crimson Moon, that was the next one. I don't know if you had wrote it down or was interested in it.
Yeah, that one looked cool.
What are your thoughts?
That was it. Like, it just looked cool. It wasn't one of the ones that like super highlighted, but it was one of the ones that like I'll keep track of, to see like more of and potentially get. Like it just looked cool.
Okay. The next thing that I wrote down, I didn't really want to write down, but I only did it because they showed a couple things that was extra that I liked. Beast and Reincarnation, we kind of already seen this on the Xbox show, but the thing that stood out to me was that they were showing off a lot of different parries when you're doing the combat. The parry system looked really cool, and I just kind of wanted to highlight that because it's really fun to pull that off. But yeah, Beast and Reincarnation is also a day one release in Game Pass if you're on Xbox, if you're gonna have Game Pass. But I don't know if you had thoughts on that, but that's
Nah, it doesn't interest me.
okay.
Like it looked okay, just it wasn't. It was not for like something I was interested in.
All right. Well, what else did you have?
So it wasn't on my list of like to get, but I'm hoping that with Rayman hitting the 30th anniversary edition, that we can get more Rayman games because they're always fun platformers. And then it just kind of struck me, and just like seeing that I was like, there's a lot of games turning 30 this year. So like, or a lot of franchises turning 30, and it's like 1996 must have been like amazing. Like
The
for
'90s
gaming.
was a
But
good
like,
time for gaming.
I was saying
For sure.
specifically six because it seems like I don't know why it's like that Persona franchise. Like I keep saying it's like the 30th anniversary of like a lot.
Yeah, it's still though within 30 years, it took a lot of people a lot of time just to find this stuff and play it. So in the very beginning, it's like these are unknown hidden gem ish type games, but it does take that long time for them to really get some feet under their legs, and that's why when everybody's so quick to kill their other franchises, fire everybody, and all that stuff, it's like no, you're supposed to keep them for 30 years because this is how long it takes.
Oh, but the next game I wrote down was Yako Shinobi Ops.
Okay.
That one looked really good. It was like pretty much it looked a little rough in the like trailer. Like it looked very, very double A. Like it looked rough a little bit, but it was four ninjas. Like it's like a 4-player co-op thing where you're ninjas and you have to pretty much like stealth your way into places and like assassinate people and stuff. But it just seemed like a cool like just like ninja simulator. Just hopefully with time they can like sharpen some of the stuff up a bit. But yeah, it looked cool.
All right. I don't think I wrote that. Now, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't think I wrote that down. But the next thing that I actually did was I don't think this has an official name because it's
But I know what you're
called
breaking up. It was the next game.
Project Windless. That's what I was gonna say. Which kind of looks like a warrior style game because
There's a mix between like Warrior and God of War.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It also looked like that's something that you probably should play on PC. Because it almost looks like that'll just tank like the frame rate in some areas. I don't know, depending on what you playing it on. But
You left out the leading part, man. You play as a giant man chicken, like fighting to kill and everything. Like it's all God of War, but like a mix with that and the Dynasty Warriors, where it just seems like you're clearing out fields, but you're just like chicken man thing. I guess hence the windless because chickens can't fly. But yeah, that looked cool.
There's a lot going on. I was just looking at it like, what is all of this? But I do like warrior style games. It's a button masher in a way. If you play these type of titles, you definitely have to hook up a wired controller and play. Don't use your good stuff. Basically, use something that's like that you don't care if you get Joy-Con drift or something with, because these type of games are button mash heavy and you jolt left and right really heavy. You definitely got to use a low quality controller. That reminds me, I forgot to mention it too, with Super Mario or Mario Tennis Fever. I definitely will be playing that with one of the wired little controllers, not with the Pro controller. because that is definitely one of them where you jolt back and forth. You kind of saw that when I was playing the tennis game, but yeah, them type of games. Even this game right now, Metrovania style games, you can't play it with your good stuff, because you really jolt it back and forth. But yeah, Project Windless is like one of those. But the next thing that I actually had was Metal Gear Collection 2. Now it's controversy for me because everybody else is hyped over it. I just wanted to mention that I was a little annoyed that it don't seem like a collection to me. It looked like it's two titles, which from the point of view of the people the people that are fans of this is really just Metal Gear Solid Guns of the Patriot, which is the PS3 games that was being ported over because it stayed on the PS3 forever. But the Peace Walker I think it's called Peace Walker. That one was notoriously bad. Like, didn't nobody really like that one. I was a little annoyed because I already have the PS3 one, and that was one of the games I was going to play this year anyway, and I actually don't want to upgrade. I kind of just want to play what I got. Unless it's some sort of like really, really big upgrade. I don't know. But I don't think it is. It looked like it was just
So you gotta also kind of remember, not to like fight back, because also I don't like a lot of port stuff too, but I feel like when they're porting things over, which is going to come up later, from like the PS3 era, right? Not everybody is doing the setup for like playing stuff, and not everybody has like a PS3 or like a good means for getting a PS3 that's not going to be like super overly priced out because it's a PS3. So it's like kind of a way that they get to actually like get these games again. Like if there was an easier way for them to like come over, that'd be great, but because it seems like all of them have to pretty much be rebuilt, it seems, I'm a little more okay when it's like that, since they're all trapped there.
I just feel like these shouldn't be on a main show. That's just kind of my opinion.
I didn't mind it with the rest of the stuff. If it was like the majority of the show, but for me, it didn't feel like the majority.
I feel like that for all the shows, though. I do that I've been saying that forever when it came to Nintendo. So when they started doing it here, I was just like, okay. But yeah, I think as a collection, it should have had like a third title. I don't know what the third title would have been, but it just seemed like if it's two titles, it don't feel like a collection to me. But yeah, and then that led into the God of War thing. But
before that, I had some other stuff.
Okay.
So I was excited for the Star Wars Galactic Racer looking game. Like, it's your normal racer, kart racer look, but it was Star Wars, and it seems like it has its own story with it. And then of course you got more 007 First Light, which is fine. And then right after the Master Chief, or not Master Chief, the Metal Gear Solid stuff, they had that Darwin's Paradox game, and it seems like that's also doing a little crossover with Metal Gear Solid, like mocking the whole hiding in a box and things like that. But that game looked pretty good. And then, did you jump straight to God of War?
Yeah, I skipped all.
There was some other stuff. Like, there's a John Wick game. There's a John Wick game coming out.
That came afterward.
No, it didn't.
It did. That came after.
The show closed with God of War.
Wait. Oh, I did write this. Okay, I'm looking at it in the wrong order. Okay, no. Okay, if that's the case, the next thing that's on my list was actually the Castlevania Belmont's Curse game. That's what I put. I wrote it wrong. No, because I went from down up. Okay. Yeah, not God of War, but the Castlevania Belmont's Curse game was the next thing that I wrote down. Was there something in between that you wrote down?
Well, I already mentioned them. The Star Wars and Star Wars Galactic Racer and Darwin's Paradox.
Okay, yeah, I wrote the Castlevania game. I liked how that looked. Shout out to what's the name? Dead Cells. Dead Cells is the other thing with the Castlevania game that or Castlevania DLC with it. But this is his own title. Silent Hill Townfield I put in there.
Townfall.
Townfall. I think those are probably going to start being games that they just spit out. I don't know
Yeah,
if they
it
want to
seems like it.
catch up to I don't know if they're trying to catch up to what is the game called? Resident Evil, but
Oh yeah,
it seems like it's not that hard to do when you're really just walking around trying to avoid something and then you swing at something if it gets too close.
yeah.
So these might be easy for them to do because they're on a third title and it seemed like we're just getting used to the Silent Hill 2 remake. But they had the Silent Hill F and then now
Mm.
there's like here's this. Um and so that's pretty quick. That's a quick turnaround compared to it's starting to remind me of Sonic. I kind of felt like Sonic games was coming a little too quickly. Now the Silent Hills is coming. Well, I mean, for the Silent Hill fans, anybody who was really wanting it to really catch up, here you go. You three main titles in. I only got the first, or only have a Silent Hill 2 remake. I do want to buy F, and then I do want to buy this. And then for anybody else, you can always just jump back a couple generations and play all the other stuff if you want to catch up and understand the lore, and then all the movies as well. Your thoughts on any of this? Did you skip all of this?
Uh, I didn't. Look, yeah, I did skip it. I thought for the Silent Hill, my first thought was like, oh, it's nice they're still like making those. But then I started thinking, wait, didn't F just come out? Like, I feel like that just came out. So yeah, it has to go with what you were saying.
Um, yeah. The next thing I put was Rev Noir, which I think is it's an anime 3D slasher.
Yeah,
Brand new to me. I don't know nothing really about it. I don't know if it is a franchise like an actual anime or anything.
I don't
But
think so.
I wrote it down. I liked it. And then yes, the John Wick title was shown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pretty dope. They will have Keanu Reeves as the actual voice actor. Obviously, they have his likeness. Hopefully, the gameplay is pretty solid. Anybody looking for something similar right now, I would say jump into Sifu. I think that was probably a really
Sort
dope
of.
title. But
Yeah, I feel like the gameplay is going to be very more like Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs. So
Yeah.
explain that.
So it looked like the Sleeping Dogs had that like Arkham style counter combat, but felt a lot like in a good way sloppier. Like it wasn't like super clean hits. It was like it felt more realistic and weighty in a lot of the
Hmm.
hits. And it looks to me that's what this was kind of looking like. It looks like it's very hit triangle right when you're about to get hit, counter focused.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're not familiar with the franchise, go watch the movies.
Of
I
course.
think I didn't see the fourth one yet. I don't know if they already came out with it. I'm pretty sure they did.
Oh yeah, they did. Four
Um,
and Ballerina were both out.
oh yeah. I've only seen the first three, so I gotta watch the other one, and then I'm definitely gonna play this. This is a big title.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the next thing I wrote down is not a game that I actually want to play. Funny enough, it's Marathon. I just wanted to mention they made it look better.
Yes.
It looked better. It looked more interesting, but I'm kind of already washed my hands with it. But at least it
Yeah.
looked better in this particular trailer. What
That
do
was
you got
my
to
exact
say?
note too. It was that exact thing. I was like, I still don't want to play this, but at least it looks better.
Yeah, it looked. I guess they had some context with it too. It didn't really because before it was just here's this shooter with a slightly different art style, and then that's it. And they
Mm-hmm.
actually had some storyline or something coming with it. And then I wrote down Sorrows. Not really much here that I care about that was more. It was really just more Returnal look to it.
Yeah.
But at least they had a lot of these other games did have some release dates, but this one seemed right around the corner, so I wrote it down. It was April 30th, 2026. I
Mm-hmm.
did not play Returnal. I actually don't have Returnal on my list for this year, but I do have the game. Um, but I do want to play this at some point too. What are your thoughts on this? Did you write this down? I kind of feel like
No.
we've seen it like 50 times already. It was
Yeah,
like,
we've seen it a lot. I think this was one of the first times they really showed gameplay though. Other than that,
yeah,
it was really story driven. So like, cool. I just don't have any interest in it.
yeah. I think the package of the show overall was still really good, but I was hot and cold because so much, like half of this stuff we had already seen. But yeah, the next thing, Marvel token, another thing that we've seen
Mm.
already. Dope
But
title
they
though.
showed off the X-Men this time. With
Hmm.
the it was Danger, like the embodiment of the Danger Room, Storm leading the team, and then Wolverine.
Hmm.
I feel like there was one more person with them. I feel like it was a group of four. For some reason, I only remember those three. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, look dope. I'll be playing it.
Yeah. Did you have anything else in between before we get to God
Nope,
of War?
nope.
And then they did mention the God of War. I'm a little skeptical on them calling it a remake because I really think it's probably going to be a remaster. Because are you really going to remake all three at the same time? The way that.
So by them phrasing remake, what I was wondering is, I feel like three had it was like slightly different, not much, but slightly different from one and two. And I wonder if they were going to do that. I'm hoping they don't just make all three with like the newer combat. Like, you know how you mentioned like one of them you're on the offense and the current ones you're on the defense. I hope they
Mhm.
don't remix it to where they're now all on the defense. Like, I don't want that, but like sharper, like, graphics, and then um more of the combat of three and
I
everything.
I need to go back and look and see if the industry was calling Halo Campaign Evolve a remake because that was a graphics change really. Um and I haven't really I played the original, but I think that's the same thing that is going to happen here, which is similar to what we saw with Last of Us Part 1 and some other things. The first two games I can definitely see needing a graphics update. I actually
Hmm.
think God of War 3 is flawless. I don't think you need
I
to
agree. So that's
touch
why
it at all.
I feel like I'm hoping that if they're doing anything, they're just bringing one and two to threes, like
Yeah.
level.
I'm definitely gonna, play them. It was nice to see my man's from Living Single. That's how I
Oh
know him.
yeah,
I know him from Living. I don't know him as God of War. I know
yeah.
him as
TC.
Living Single. But he was looking good, and to see
Yeah.
him back again, and then he announced and helped him shadow drop the Sons of Sparta game.
Hmm.
Um,
I
but
will say he's like charismatic enough that it's like I'm gonna need him to host more things, like the game and
mhm.
stuff. Like he just has that charisma, that natural charisma with it. Can we take
Yeah,
a real quick pause from the show? Not like from the show, but like from the state of play.
I really thought you was about to say you need to use the bathroom,
No, no,
but
no, no, no,
go
no.
ahead.
Of course not. No.
Go ahead.
Uh, Real quick from the screen because I knew this was coming up. I want to talk about
Mhm.
this real quick. It was from Remnant 2. And it was a boss fight with this giant pig that you have to fight while this door is slowly opening, waiting for it to
Mhm.
open. And I think you had like either fall damage or got hit with the fire. I think that's what it was. And it was just me, but for whatever reason, the game glitched and the pig just kept staying in the corner. So like there was a lot of times where it would just walk into the corner and just stand there. So
Yeah,
I
he
was able
walked
to just
away.
take it down, yeah, because it didn't come back to try and fight. Like this is a very tight corridor, which was good because I was also running out of ammo for a lot of this, and yeah, it didn't attack. So I thought that was like goofy. From an otherwise like the DLC has been a solid experience. Also, side note, you know that one boss that we just took on, that one little floating uh like dust thing where like the walls start caving in
The main one
towards the end.
from the
Yeah.
second DLC, I think.
Uh huh. Lots of complaints online. Not like everybody was having a hard time with it. Like
Okay.
there were so many people online just going, "How do you beat this thing?" And everybody's like, "You need to have maximum amount of damage output, otherwise you're not going to be able to beat it." It's like you
Mm.
get it down to its health, and then in that last part, you have like 15 seconds to do like a large chunk of damage, and you need to be able to do that. If you can't, you won't beat it.
Mm.
But yeah, it got a lot of people on the ropes.
Okay.
But yeah, all right, back to the state of play.
Okay.
Uh, I was
Um.
happy with it. Like, I'm happy that they're getting a remake. Like, because again, to me, it's games that were kind of like, especially with God of War 3, kind of because they already did re-release that one. But I think it's just in time for the show that's going to be coming out as well. Like,
That might be
why
a
not?
big push to it. I think it's a graphics thing when it's going to be a big push to get it done by that time for that.
Yeah.
Um, which
Like, I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if they finish and then wait to release it until the show's about to release. I feel
I
like that's
wouldn't
supposed
mind
to
it
go
if they
hand
were
in hand.
fine tuning. If they're fine
Hmm.
tuning it to make it actually work and everything, then I'm all for it. Um, but yeah, I um I am waiting though, because the first thing I thought of is the content that could potentially be taken out. And I'm almost I'm almost certain there's going to
Oh,
be a uproar for a lot of things, because one thing we've noticed is there's been a noticeable downgrade in the amount of gore from the older titles compared to 2018 and Ragnarok. And I'm just wondering if they go there with that, or do they stay true to its platform. And then the obvious, which is like the like sex scenes and nudity, which I actually expect them to actually take that completely out and make everybody mad the way they was when they thought that like Stella Blade was gonna have some outfits that she wants.
oh yeah.
I expected to be like really mad at that,
I
but
feel
I'm
like
yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping that the scenes will be in there. Not like I want to play them, but like I just don't want to remove stuff. Because it's just gonna be an uproar. I wonder if
They used to zoom in on
whatever.
like the bandstand or something anyway, though, if I remember
Oh
correctly.
yeah, yeah. That's what I think they're gonna do.
So
Is it's gonna be the whole implied thing. But what I'm hoping, which I don't, probably not gonna be the case. What I'm hoping is that like the next God of War game is going
mhm.
to end up being, I guess, back to being kind of like super violent. So they're doing this for like the newer fans who only played God of War 18 is like, hey, don't be like find it jarring if all of a sudden it's extra violent. That's the way it used to be. That's what I'm
Well,
hoping for, but I doubt it. I think you might be right, but I'm hoping that.
yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I really hope that they just stay true to this platform. Really, if it's a graphics update, fine, because you're talking about a PS2 title. Um, I'm questioning the word remake, because I wouldn't question it if it was one game at a time, because you got to think like this is what people wanted on the Nintendo platform when it came to Metroid Prime, and
Hmm.
they called that a remake too. When that was, well, I think they called that one a remaster. But they only did one. You know what I mean? And then kind of jumped straight to four, and they had the 2D one in between or right before it. Here it's like, well, no, they're really saying one, two, and three, and we know how it is for the industry right now when it comes to quality sake. So I'm just wondering. I don't believe that they're not going to put money into it. Of course, they're going to put a lot of money into Santa Monica Studios to do it. Um, it's just when you say all three at one time, I'm more on a wait and see, but I do want to support it. I'm not gonna just trash it or anything like that. I want to support it. Those are my favorite God of War games. I did solely initially buy the PS3 to play God of War 3, and then
Hmm.
after I was done, I remember saying to myself, well, what do I do with this thing? In reference to the PS3, and didn't touch it for like 2-3 years um until we started playing WWE 2K12 at the time.
Hmm.
And then like the story, the story afterwards, people stole it, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that, like after that, it was just I was kind of done with that platform for a while, but I kind of skipped it a little bit. But my initial reason for buying it was that game. This past Black Friday, I did buy the PS4 port, because it was a
Hmm.
$10 title. So between that and the Guns of the Patriot on the Metal Gear collection is part of the reasons, and I also have your collection as far as on the PS3. So it was like some of this was lackluster to me.
I, I forgot you had that. I was wondering what I did with it. I couldn't find it, and I was like, "Oh, well, I just kind of shrugged. I forgot that I let you like I handed that over to you."
Cause some of this stuff was my list for this year was to go to that
Hmm.
generation and play a lot of this stuff. So when they start saying, yeah, it's coming, we don't have real release dates for it and stuff, I'm just kind of rolling my eyes at it. Where I'm like, well, I can't keep waiting for you. That's how I felt. Overall though, the show was still dope. I don't really have too many concerns outside of the ports, but I said it was a 7 for me. 7 out of 10. What were your ratings if you wanted to
9 out
give
of
it
10
one?
for me. Like
Nah.
personally, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't that I enjoyed every game, right? Like I don't care about Staros personally. I don't care about Marathon. Pragmata has been out of the picture for me, but it was like it felt like there was like something for everyone to get excited about.
Hmm.
That surprised John Wick. I always like a shadow drop. Um, and nice to see they're kind of doing stuff still with like they didn't just like throw God of War like completely on the back burner. Seeing Kenna get a sequel makes me hopeful
Hmm.
for maybe some other games like that do well but not like super crazy well will also still get some love down the
Hmm.
line as well. So it made me hopeful for some other stuff. So yeah, for me it was a 9 out of 10.
Um, I do want to actually jump back to Pragmatter for a second because I didn't really speak on it.
Yeah, you don't like that game.
That footage actually made me like it less. To be honest with you, the second he
Same.
started talking, I was just like, yeah, nah, it's worse. Like in the other stuff, like I know there was the demo that came out,
Yeah,
and
baby.
I downloaded the demo, but didn't get the footage and play it yet. But I was a little turned off by the like it's unique and it's a new way of playing, but the little Spider-Man sequence, the you know what I'm talking about from Spider-Man and what's the other game? Saints Row 4. Like the little when you shooting and then the girl's supposed to pretend to hack or she is hacking them, and they're still coming
Oh
at
yeah.
you really slow and you got to puzzle through it. I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that. Like I like
Oh.
more. I'm a fast paced gamer. Like I don't like that the slow tactical part is what turned me off from Resident Evil 7 remake. Not Resident Evil 7. Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Mm.
The initial one, the integrated, I think. I want to give it another chance because I still want to expand my gaming. But when I initially played that in 2020, when that demo first came out during lockdown, I was like done. I was like, I don't want to play that no more.
Okay.
And that kind of reminded me of that. It was like, okay, you shoot him, and then he's coming at you slowly. You're trying to back away, but you got to do that puzzle at the same time. I'm like, I just want to shoot. I don't know. Just like in the other games, like I just want to hack and slash. Um, but I am gonna play the demo to give it a fair shot.
Okay.
Because I do want to be fair. But yeah, that was my thoughts on that. If we're done talking about the show, let's go ahead and jump to the middle. Well, at the end actually. um, Epic Games. Let's talk about Epic Games, our unofficial sponsor. They always come out with 1 to 2 titles every week that are completely free. And you can't really complain because it's free. I always say that. Um, and yes, you can claim these games without actually having a credit card or something hooked up. I just realized on here I got the footage backwards. I was supposed to have this remnant footage before the other one just because of timeline sake, but I don't think it don't matter.
Well, wait.
Yeah, this boss came after or before the pig, if you remember correctly.
This was after the pig.
It was
Because the pig was like one of the first ones when we first got to the city because we went through the sewer right away, and then
okay.
this one came later.
All right, well, never mind. Then
'Cause
it
this is when
worked
we
out.
started having a hard time because because everything before this just kept setting us on fire.
Uh, all right,
Oh yeah, and
well,
that's why because oh no, maybe you're right. Maybe it was because like because we fought the pigs here and then the big pig came later. You might be right. I don't remember.
Well,
I
it's
remember coming
playing
in clutch for
now.
this fight.
It's too late. So, all right, Epic Games, the first title that they have that's available right now until February 19th, as of this recording, is called Nobody Wants to Die. I don't know too much about it, but I think that statement is true, mostly true. Nobody really wants to die.
It is. So I don't know if you remember. This was an not older. It was last year.
Mhm.
Showing off. It was a first-person game where you're a detective and you're trying to solve some like murder mystery where you can kind of like rewind time and stuff to see things.
Okay, that's a cool concept. Um, I really do like. I have detective titles on Switch, if I'm not mistaken. You know that game, the Emio Man, where everybody thought it was supposed to be a horror game. Like I have
Yeah.
that on there. So if we got more games like that, variety is key. Variety is key. We can always try some new stuff. But that's the first one. The second one is called The Dark Side Detective: A Fumble in the Dark. I don't know too much about it either. Go check them out. They're free right now until the 19th. And then from the 19th to the 26th, let me make sure I can read my scribble. Return to Ash. I think that's the first one. Just Return to Ash. Oh, is this all together? Can you look at this real quick? The Return to Ash, Stalecraft X Starter Edition. I don't know if that's all one. I wrote this down. I squeezed it all in. But if it's just one, that is from February 19th to the 26th.
It is Return to Ash is a game, and then Stallcraft X Starter Edition is.
Oh, that is the second one. That's the second one. Okay. I had a notebook. I finally found a notebook, but I kind of squinted it together when I wrote it down. But yeah, that's that. I do want to. I have some sales I actually wanted to highlight. They might be over now, but I took advantage of some early Black Friday deals that I was just not really expecting. It just kind of came out of nowhere. One thing, someone sent me a DM not too long ago asking me to play what was it? Elden Ring Night Rain, which I believe was the standalone, not DLC, but a standalone game. That's a spinoff to the regular Elden Ring game, where I think it started off as either 1 player or 3 player. And then we found out they released a patch or something where you can also do 2-player co-op and I think 4-player. This past July, if I'm not mistaken, according to the internet. But that game was like $20. And I caught it on sale for 20 on Walmart. And it was supposed to be just the base version, but when I went to go pick it up, I didn't realize until I got it home the dude handed me the deluxe version, which came with all the DLC. So I was like, major W, I guess. But that was a $20 get. And then I also was able to get Metaphor Refuntasio, which was the big Atlas game that was like one of the Game of the Year contenders from 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. That's crazy to say 2 years ago. But that was also a $20 game that I got. And the other one was one of the ones that I called the big three that I was trying to get. I'm playing Liza P right now, but Stellar Blade was the other title that I was able to grab that Walmart again was coming in clutch, having that game for just $20. And initially I was like, I'm not about to buy a bunch of stuff for a while. I was kind of done. I was like, let's just play some stuff. But the sales, these are the floor prices for these titles, and I was just like, I gotta grab them, and I grabbed them. So I'm excited about the Stellar Blade one because this past Black Friday, Stellar Blade, Liza P, and the first Berserker Kazan was like the main titles that I wanted to get, but they weren't on sale. And then Liza P was kind of just given away. So I was like, okay, I got access to this, so I'm not gonna worry about that. but the other two are still like in the $40+ range. But this one finally dropped now. So I snagged it. I'm waiting for the first Berserker to grab to drop down in price so I can grab it as well. But those are my big gets, because I didn't have anything else that was really like on sale or anything that I wanted to get this year. It's just really whatever I don't already have that goes on sale. But I was really happy to at least snag those 3 titles as is. Anything you wanted to mention as far as sales, or maybe Amazon?
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned the Amazon games for this month. I don't remember doing so. So if I did, my bad, but I'll bring it up now. So it would have been the ones that are already available: Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Dread Templar, Hex Guardian, Around the World Travel to Brazil Collector's Edition, and then coming up, Ambition, Minute of Power, Captain Blood, Meganoid, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, Total War, ATTILA, and then Tavern Talk.
Say that one more time. A what? ATT.
There was Total War, ATTILA. I don't know if it's supposed to be Attila, but it's Total War is not all cap, and then that part is all cap. So I don't know if it's like a acronym for something or the word Attila, but Total War something, and then Tavern Talk.
Okay. Well, listen, I also got a tiny surprise I just wanted to mention, somewhat off topic, but I just got myself a really high quality printer. I haven't set it up yet, but it's supposed to be able to print, really good artwork. I really got it to do some cool stuff with my job, but I'm putting my co-host and all his little friends on notice, because I'm about to go get the top Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you feel me? And I'm about to battle all of y'all. That's right. I'm about to print it all.
I'm not gonna play with you. Part of the game is collecting the cards, and you're out here trying to. No, you're printing them.
I'm collecting. What you mean?
You're cheap. Be cheap, but play by yourself.
What you mean?
You cheap. Play by. It is not the same thing.
It ain't cheap. I paid a lot of money for this printer. What you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
It's the same thing, man.
Yeah, you do your thing.
I'm gonna play the game with y'all, man. You be having these. Y'all be having these get-togethers and stuff. What y'all talking about? The dungeons and all of that stuff, man. I'm catching up, man.
Okay.
Why you don't want to play me, man? We
I'm not playing. Sorry, it was just.
What you mean?
You somehow turned it into pay to win, but even cheaper, because you're still not buying the card. You're printing them. That's trash. Nope. No, you do your thing.
We gotta fight. We gotta go one-on-one. It'll be the most epic battles ever, man. What's the card you want the most?
None of them. I'm good, but no, I'm not playing with you. Like, you go ahead.
Why you don't want to play, man? That's not fair, man. Dang. But listen, I mentioned a long time ago, probably not on air, but I always wanted to take, the inspirations from the community and turn those into little art cards, art books, manuals, things that was like taken away from our physical media. And kind of introduce that back, at least for my own collection. So I can do that, with certain games if I really like the art and I like what the fandom has done with it. There is a dedicated community that does make manuals for certain titles. And it's like, if it was something there that I really liked, I can probably get into that, make it glossy, laminate stuff. I can do all of that stuff. And then I'm going to have some posters and stuff that I'm going to have for my little area, as well as like my job area as well. And then I'm gonna battle my co-host in the most epic battle ever. I saw videos where there was I thought of this concept, but I've seen some videos where some people was already doing stuff like this. I was like, okay, somebody out there got some common sense.
It's lame.
What you mean it's lame?
It's lame. You lame. It's lame.
Sense. It makes the most sense.
Just don't play. Like,
yeah, we can still play. Why would we not play?
No.
Because it would take way too long and all that stuff. It's like, listen, we can cut right to the chase. and we can cut the middleman out and just cut right to the chase. Dope, holographic, whatever it is, man. Bam, we got it, man. I'm excited.
It doesn't work for those type of games.
What you mean it don't work? It's just
anything that's a set board game of card game stuff, sure. But not when it's a trading card game, because the whole point. Never mind, I'm not arguing with you. You do what you want. I'm not playing. No, I'm not trading you a card for some freaking paper. No, get up out of here. Get up out of here.
We can battle. Nah, your cards versus my cards.
This is the poorest thing. Do your thing. Whatever.
We'll battle. Your cards versus
Go
my
find the other broke boys and y'all play it that way.
I just think you scared.
Oh, okay.
You're scared.
I'm not.
You think I'm gonna beat you? That's all.
I'm not.
You scared. Listen, it's gonna be
burn the card, so you got to reprint them.
What you mean? Burn my card, burn your card. What you mean? Don't go there. Don't go there. Listen. It's about to be the most epic gameplay of all time. Me and my co-host friends. We're gonna have a tournament. Winner collects all. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be the coolest tournament. And then, man, I will free y'all from this addiction of giving strange companies your money. You feel me?
Nope.
No? All right, you hating. All right, we're almost done. Tell me why you hating on Obsidian and the sales? What you saying? Why you hating?
It's not that I'm hating. It's Obsidian's last 3 games. They had Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, and Grounded 2. And Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed did not make the sales that they wanted. Which for Outer Worlds 2, I think it's their fault. They didn't advertise the game. Like that, they had that one companion trailer way back over like the beginning of the summer game shows. And then next thing you know, it just dropped in October. Like they didn't do anything to promote this game. So there's people who like are Outer Worlds fans who were just like, when people were complaining like how the second game didn't sell, they were just like, the second game came out? Like they didn't even realize it came out. But because it didn't do well, they're kind of shifting focus. They don't want to do games that take a long time to make and everything because they're not getting their money back. So they are going to make an Avowed 2 because it seems like they do make sequels. But then they're going to focus on more things like Grounded to like that type of game because it was a shorter development cycle. So they almost kind of confirmed there is not going to be an Outer Worlds 3. Sounds like they're still like releasing updates and that they had planned DLC, so they're going to do that. Which I even know some people, because what was annoying with the first game is they dropped DLC, but then the DLC happens before the last mission. So either you saved before you did the last mission if you played it early, and then you go back and do the DLC, or you had to start over. Which to me is like, that's not DLC, that's cut content. So that was one of the things that upset me the most on an otherwise, to me, great game. So in case they're doing that for the second game, there's a lot of people who's like, I'm just not playing it yet until the DLC comes out because I don't want to have to deal with that of beating the game and then being told I got to restart because you put DLC before the end game instead of post game. So of course the sales, they like super great, and they had that controversy of saying it was going to drop at 80, everyone getting mad, and then they backed down to 70 because it was one of the first games also announced for 80. But they kind of confirmed there's not going to be an Outer Worlds 3. So it upsets me because it is a franchise that I really enjoy outside of those horrible DLC practices. But even through the second game, I really enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite games that I played last year and beat this year. Outer Worlds 1 I was a big fan of. I was really excited when they first dropped that first trailer and the companion trailer. So it just sucks that they're not making another.
I guess that's news to me. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I remember it being the leading title that they were going with for Xbox's summer showcase last year around June or July.
And then they didn't do any sort of advertising with it after. Like zero. It just like came out in October.
Yeah, I know. I don't know too much. The only thing I knew is that it reminded me of BioShock, and I was done with it because it reminded me of BioShock.
It's not. It's not. It is Fallout in space. It's not BioShock. It's Fallout.
Okay.
It's made out of Fallout
Um,
people. It's Fallout in space. This is a really great game. I enjoy it. Nice, funny. The first game was like a funny like play on like targeting like capitalism.
mhm.
Uh, and then the second one really mocks like being so faction focused that you're ignoring the pitfalls of it. So it has this like commentary, but I think done in a very like good way with like cool planets. I like the gameplay. The first game melee felt better. The second game shooting feels better, and because of your play style, there is replayability like for it. Whether you do like a just murderous like shooty run, or you're trying to be diplomatic and using a lot of speech skills to go through things. The second one introduced a flaw system, which can change the game, make it harder. Like if you lied a couple times, you can do a flaw where if there's a lying option in dialogue, you automatically lie, like you can't control it because you just need to lie. So like they do things that fundamentally alter the game based off of a flaw that you have. So it's a great game. It just sucks that they didn't market it and then that it didn't do as well.
Shout out to Liza P. That reminded me of when you mentioned that like there are some moments where in the game you have to like lie. It's a whole thing. It reminded me of like there's this lady who has like a baby, and it was like I don't know if she was blind or what happened, but it was like, do you tell her the baby's not real and it's a doll, or do you tell her that it's real? And I remember telling her that was real, and then I got like a upgrade for it, but I technically lied in the game. So yeah, that reminded me of that. But yeah, all right. Well, the game is still ready and available on Game Pass. I think the first one is too.
Definitely
And
worth it to me, especially if you're into Fallout or like those type of games. To me, it's a really solid game.
yeah, play more titles, everybody. I did not expect to just enjoy this Mario tennis game when it came in my lap. But you know, you like some games, you don't like others, right? Just play more titles. Epic Games has given us like so many different things, from all different types of, I guess, AA, AAA quality, whatever it is. So just play all this stuff, and you'll be surprised at what you might like. But is that our show? Is that it?
I have
Is
one
it
more thing.
over? Okay,
No,
go
I have
ahead.
one more thing. So I don't know if you heard, and I can't confirm that it's 100% true, but it is getting reported on by other sites, so I think it's true. But
Hmm.
there's one guy mentioned that so he lives in, I think, like Iraq, or Iran,
Okay.
and he had ordered the Clair Obscur, like the super whatever deluxe extra edition, and it comes with
Okay.
like an 82 page journal that's labeled Expedition Journal, and then it has a bunch of the artwork on the inside. Well, Customs saw it and was like, "Hold on, this seems like an artifact, like an actual artifact. What you doing with this?" And rather than giving it to him, they detained the artifact and sent it to a museum to try and see if it was like legit, like some like old ancient like thing that he's not supposed to have.
But you just steal it from him? Like if it was
I
his,
guess
it
so.
was his.
So it's
Like
like
why does
they
it belong
say
there?
it's. I guess they're trying to say that he, I don't know, dug something up, and
That
you
don't
have to
mean
have
they
that
just
approved.
get
'Cause
it.
yeah,
What?
like I guess
What?
it's if they decide, if the museum decides, tell that to Britain.
Wow.
If the museum decides this is supposed to be in a museum, then it can't go through normal like customs. You better go pick it up yourself. But if it goes through, they check it and say this is supposed to be in
Wow.
a museum. So
Well,
I don't know if he got it back
pay
yet,
the
but I'm
man.
pretty sure the I think that would happen too. But like I don't know if he got it back yet. But like I think the museum's gonna look at it and be like, this is a video game. Like, what are you doing? But it's just because of that expedition journal, it's on the artwork. They're like, oh, this is real work from some archaeologist. This doesn't belong to you. Is what they're trying to say.
That's probably a kudos to the quality of it, but I would be
Yeah.
like, I don't care
Give
how
myself.
rare something is. If it's mine, it's going on my wall. Like what? It
Yep.
ain't going in no ceiling wall.
That's how I feel.
If I
So
had the real Mona Lisa, it's going on my wall. if I accidentally like spray paint on it or pop or something, oh well, it's still mine.
Yeah, so it says, the book has been officially sent to the Iraqi Museum/Technical Committee to confirm that it is in fact a modern video game art book and not a newly discovered lost artifact.
That's so
So the
silly.
dude's being funny, but he's just like 10 out of 10 experience will definitely accidentally import history again. So yeah, it was detained by customs for possibly being ancient.
That's stupid.
It is.
Like,
yes, I don't know.
I'm triggered by the fact that you would take it and assume that you could just put it there. Like, it's still mine. Like what?
Yeah.
It's mine. Like,
because somebody had put, was like, so they can actually just steal your stuff if it's ancient. And somebody's like, ask the British Museum. So it's just like, apparently they could like antiques market, because I think it's because there's been a big deal with like the black market and selling those antiques, and sometimes the money not going to organizations that are on the up and up. Like some of the really, really bad stuff was using black market artifact stuff to like travel money. So they're instantly looking at it. But like what people are pointing out too is like these people who sent it gotta be idiots, because like the pages are glossy, right? Like it's clearly a modern day book. This isn't like ancient paper and
but let's
things.
say
So
you had an ancestry family line, and it's stuff that's just been like, you know, passed down for many, many, many generations within your family, and you're relocating or something, and somebody's going to say, we're going to take this and put it there. It's theirs. Like, that just seems kind of crazy to me.
does. Yeah. I don't know the full rules around it, but yeah. Stuff like that be happening when they just be like, nah, we own this. It's also why there's constantly, I don't know if you've ever seen it, there'll be conflict where like a tribe or like a Native American tribe or just some indigenous tribe or people like an old French family or something like that will go to the museum and fight them. Like, you stole this thing from it's like the whole premise of Black Panther with Killmonger going to the museum. Is like, you stole this from my people, like it should be mine. Like that's the idea, is they see it and go, oh nope, this is ancient, this belongs in a museum, and they're like, excuse me, that's a family thing, and then they have to like fight for it because they're just like, nah, we own this now, museum.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't know the full rules about it, but I hope the dude gets his because it was in the Monolith set, and I hope he gets his book back because he paid for it.
Yeah, of course.
Or they like, for whatever reason, think it's crazy. It is like ancient. Not only does the company get more like cred now for making something that realistic, but at least he gets paid for it, like in some way. But I was like, nah, give me my book. I wanted that.
Yeah, it's just the idea of it that triggers me, because it's like, what if I was like someone who really likes to recreate art? Like I was just talking about printing stuff, but like you really go throughout the whole process and you find old stuff and put it together and make it look like that. So it's like to take it from you is crazy.
I will also like to point out, looking at like images that he posted with it to show like what was taken from the website. I have this book. It came with the Steelbook edition. I'm on the page now that they're showing from the screen. It's the Steelbook edition, the book that comes with that. I have it. So this would have been taken by customs. That's crazy.
Silly. That's so silly. All right, man, you ready to get out of here? We can get out of here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.